What's up everybody, my name is Chris and today in this video I want to talk to you about how you can connect your Wireless Go II to your smartphone. In my case, that of course is an iPhone. Now I'm going to show you two separate ways of how you can do this. However, in both cases you need to actually purchase another cable in addition to the Wireless Go II set that you already got. One of these methods is actually much preferred over the other because it provides better audio quality and a richer feature set. So stay tuned for that. But first, a little bit about transparency. Røde actually sent me this set so that I can make videos about this. These videos are not done in collaboration with Røde, aside from them giving me the microphone set to play around with and make videos about. These videos are directly published to YouTube and not sent for approval to Røde prior to release. So this is just my thoughts about this and how I am using it. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about how you can set this up so that you can record the Røde Wireless GO II set to your smartphone, mainly to your iPhone, because that's how I can showcase this to you. Now, first of all, let's have a look at what you get in the box. And of course, that is the Røde Wireless Go with the two transmitters and the one receiver. Now, to play around with this, I'm gonna just turn on the transmitters and wait until the light starts lighting up, and there we go. And then of course I also am going to turn on the transmitter. And once that's online, we have that ready to go. Now the cable that comes with the Røde Wireless Go is actually a TRRS to TRRS cable. And to be honest, on that front, I'm actually a little bit disappointed at Røde for not providing us with the auto detect feature that they have built into the Røde Video Mic NTG. This here comes with a TRRS to TRRS cable from the microphone to the camera or smartphone, and this is a smart sensing cable, which basically means that no matter where you plug this in, whether it's a smartphone or a camera, it automatically detects whether or not it's a TRS or a TRRS connection and then switches accordingly. I would have loved to see this kind of implementation also available in the Røde Wireless Go set, because that way we would not have to get another cable. However, maybe they did this so that we actually focus on the more feature-rich implementation or the more feature-rich cable solution, which I will feature second, because now first, the usual solution would have been and is still to get a cable like this, which is the Røde SC15, and this is a TRS to TRRS cable, essentially meaning that you have one side with 3 golden rings, and then on the other hand, you have 4 golden rings. And when you plug the 3 golden rings into the transmitter, which basically looks like this, and then you have the other end, which you can then connect to your lightning adapter for iPhones, or if you have a headphone jack, you can simply just plug that in right there. And then I can plug this in, and now the application shows that it now is connected to an external microphone. As I've mentioned before, this is a not so future-rich solution, because right now we actually have 2 of the transmitters running, both of them sending an audio signal, and on the receiver, the setting is made so that it goes into mono mode. Now, when I go in here and I switch this up into stereo mode, and when that's done, we actually have 2 separate signals here on the screen of the transmitter. However, when you look here into the meters on the app, it actually still shows exactly the same volume on both of them. Now, to demonstrate how this actually is not a stereo signal or a left-right split signal, I'm turning off one of the transmitters. And as you can see, we now have one signal right here, and the transmitter number 1 is no longer detected right here. And we still have both of the channels showing the signal right here on this screen. Now, the reason for this is that the TRRS connection to your smartphone only supports for a mono signal for a microphone, because it has just 4 connections. One of them is ground, one of them is left channel for stereo output, one of them is the right channel for stereo output, and then we have the microphone input, which is that 3rd connection or that 4th golden ring, which you don't usually find on a TRS to TRS connection. So that's why this is actually not possible with a cable like this. This CS7 cable is not the best solution that you can use in this case, especially if you want to have that left-right split signal. For iPhone users, the better solution would actually be to go for a cable, the SC19 or the SC15, which are both cables which feature on one end lightning connection and on the other USB-C. The difference between these two cables, the SC15 and SC19, is that the 19 is 1.5 meters in length and the SC15 is just 30 centimeters in length. Now, what you can do with this is you can actually connect this to the Lightning port on your iPhone, and on the USB side, you then can connect the receiver. And when you do that, the connection is established, and now we have an external microphone showing here on the Rec app screen. And as you can see, we have only a signal on one of the two channels, and that is because right now the receiver is in left-right split mode, which means that you have the recording of both of the channels in a separate channel once you are going into your editing program. Now, right now we only have one of the transmitters turned on, the other one is actually turned off. But once I turn on the other transmitter and we wait for that signal to show up, we will actually also have a second signal right there. Now, when I put one of them to the side and on the other one I start tapping, you can see pretty clearly that there is a very strong signal on one channel but not on the other. This, of course, is for the purpose of being able to edit your audio in separate channels so that, for example, in an interview situation, you have two microphones on two separate people. One of them may be talking much more quiet, but then in post-production, you can bring that up, and that is really cool that you can do that and you have that freedom and choice. Now, when we go back here, I can of course also switch back into the other mode. And of course, in this case, this would be going back to the mono mixdown mode. And now in this case, you can see one signal right here on the receiver. And then of course, also one signal on the screen of the iPhone. And again, now if I start tapping this, you will see that this is actually showing on both of the channels on left and right. This is particularly interesting in, for example, those cases where you want to use these types of microphones for an interview, for example, in the case of a live stream on Facebook or Instagram, because this way you can use these here as microphones for those kind of environments, and you have the benefit of having both of these microphones mixed down into one audio signal, essentially giving you the normal output that everybody would expect. Because if you were to use the stereo mode with the left-right split and you use that for a live stream, then it can be that the people that are, for example, listening on headphones or on a stereo set, they would only hear one person speak on one side and the other speak on the other side, which is a kind of weird experience. Another benefit of using this cable compared to using an audio cable like this is actually that there are two less audio conversions. So it goes from digital to analog and then from analog to digital. In this case here, you have the signal that is audio waves coming into the microphone, and in the transmitter, it is actually already converted to a digital signal, which then is transmitted to the receiver. And with this type of cable, the SC1915 or the USB-C counterparts, when you use an Android device, the signal is then also digitally transported to the smartphone and recorded right there without having it transformed again. If you are using a more traditional setup with a camera and of course the normal TRRS to TRRS cable, or you are using this type of cable with a TRRS and TRS connection, the signal is actually again transformed from digital on the receiver to an analog signal to be transported over one of these two cables, and then in the camera or your smartphone, it is once more transformed from an analog to a digital signal. So with this type of cable, you have a 24-bit audio signal which goes into the camera without those multiple transforms, and supposedly that will give you a bit of a better quality. Now, in my opinion, the additional audio quality you get by using a setup like this with the USB-C to Lightning cable is not the reason why you buy this cord. Instead, it is the ability to have that left-right split when recording with a smartphone, because this is a tiny setup, especially if you go for the SC15 cable, which is just 30 centimeters in length, and you can easily mount your smartphone together with your Wireless Go receiver, and then you have two microphones for two individual people. You can, for example, vlog with your smartphone or something similar, and you have a great quality setup and of course a really interesting feature set to be able to then later on select which audio you want to be able to hear. Now, I hope this video was interesting for you in terms of understanding why you might want to use a USB connection for the connection of your Wireless GO II to your smartphone. And if this was helpful or interesting in any kind of way, I appreciate a thumbs up or a super thanks. And of course, if you have questions about all of this, you can leave those in the comment section down below. I might be able to help you there. Otherwise, always connect the Røde support, which are a really cool team of people that are always very helpful. Now, with all that said, I hope you have an amazing day. Connect your Wireless Go to your smartphone, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.